Hi, this is attorney and board certified nurse practitioner Joe Flores on behalf of Vasquez Flores Home Health. Nursing homes have their place, but having care in your own home is very important. Call today for more information. Backed by over 20 years of experience, registered nurse Priscilla Vasquez can answer your questions about home care. Call 881-9922. That's 881-9922 today.
I think it's a betrayal of public trust. That is just not ethical.
I left the Democratic Party because of her.
The reason is because you're taking Republican money.
The money of those people that pay me as a consultant. What are you taking? What did you take in Crosstown? Took money. I saw it and I saw them pay you checks.
Okay, hold on, everybody. And we're back after a brief break. You're watching South Texas Crossfire, and this is your attorney and host, Joe Flores. And you can reach us on Facebook / South Texas Crossfire, Flores Law Firm, or Joe Flores. Come on by and visit. And, 10 years ago, it started out with abuelitas at the HEB saying, Joe, you're doing okay. And now I have people from Our Bluff and the island saying, Joe, you're doing all right, because we're bringing on everyone. Equal opportunity, equal time here on South Texas Crossfire. But I have the pleasure of bringing on someone who wants to be your next county court at law, number 5 judge, Juvenile Justice Center. She was there from the very beginning with Carl Lewis. She was his prosecutor, and now she's a judge herself, but she wants to be your judge, Juvenile Justice Center. Welcome, Judge Madrigal.
Thanks, Joe. Nice to see you.
Okay, let's just jump in feet first, because the early voting is here, 18th through the 28th, and then the 4th, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So now they've started. They see you as the lead candidate in the Democratic primary. Many do. You've got a lot of supporters. So they started to throw intense rocks at you. The mortars are coming in. You haven't taken the bait, right? Yeah. And so, but how have you responded, if at all, to negative comments?
Well, there's no truth to any of those negative comments.
Thank you.
I have been a prosecutor, and then I became a judge. And I think it was the fact that the Caller Times endorsed me that has some people trying to now go very negative with me. I'm going to continue just to point towards my credentials. If another candidate doesn't have credentials, I can't help that. I have the credentials. I've been a judge. I've been in county court for for 6 years. I learned from the best, Judge Carl Lewis. I'm not going to roll around with that.
All right, and that's what we want to hear, because it's hard. As a judge, let me tell you, for those of you out there who don't know, judges cannot go to the airwaves and have a press conference and respond and comment on cases and do stuff. Your hands are tied. My heart goes out to every judge that has a race, because you have to just sit there and take it, the lies and everything. Yeah. Now, people resort to hiring political mercenaries when they get desperate. You know you're doing good when they have politiqueras attacking you, right?
Oh yeah, and I hope that's the case in this situation. We're working hard, and I want to thank, once some of my supporters learned of some of the tactics that were being used. I've had signs missing. I've had there's other people trying to attack me. They called me, wanted more signs. They're very upset. I want to thank them for their continued support.
Amen.
And it's when you go that route, I think it shows that you're not really ready for this position, and it's helping. I think it's even helping me more.
Well, and I was going to say that sometimes when people, you got to be careful in politics when you attack people negatively. You throw a rock, a boulder comes back at you, because the people get angry. The people are tired of dirty politics, of people bashing people and not saying, okay, well, what's your solution? But interestingly, the politiquera that attacked you hasn't come out and said who she's supporting, and we don't have to go there, of who she's working for. Yeah. But make no doubt about it, there's money exchanging hands in politics. So with that being said, let's focus on the positive.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you sit up on that bench? What are you going to do for the kids and the family?
What I'm going to do is work as hard as I've ever worked. I am known for being extremely diligent, extremely fair. I allow all litigants to have their voice in court and then make a good decision and make a efficient decision. I don't put it off 2, 3, 4 months down the line. You know, I get to work at 7:30 in the morning every day. My docket doesn't start till 8:30, but I have to be prepared. I want to know what the file says. I want to know what's going on in these people's lives before I come in and make a decision. I think it's a waste of time. It's a waste of court time to just step up in there and say, oh, why are we here again? You know, it's not a good thing. You know, the justice system has, you know, you have parties that are in a dispute, and County Court Law Number 5 is very important because there are children in a dispute. Their lives are being held in the balance while somebody finally makes it to court and able to make a decision. And in my particular case, I believe that your day should start, you know, at 8, sure. You know, I've had one of my opponents says, well, I'm not going to get there at 8. I get there at 7:30. I'm going to be ready. I want to have.
But what time do they want to show up? If not 8, that's when everything, you know.
Well, the taxpayers are paying me a salary, and I'm a public servant, and I'm there to serve the public.
Federal Judge Ramos, Sandra Watts, they get there early.
Exactly.
And why do you have to get there early? Judge Longoria, he doesn't want anybody to keep his jury waiting.
Exactly. You don't want to leave people waiting. You want to be able to hear as many cases, to work through your docket, to, you know, give people justice, to give children permanency. You want to be able to get as much done in a day. You know, you're serving the public, not your own agendas when you're on the bench.
Amen. And let me ask you this. We're talking about that. What Juan Casa, he asked me to please keep him anonymous, but he said, I want you to ask the candidates this question. Are they going to save money like their predecessor, $800,000, on the backs of children, on the backs of families? And this is a CASA member saying that there was not a lawyer involved when there should have been. They waited too long just to say, I save money on for the taxpayers.
Absolutely not. I believe that you don't save money in the backs of children and families of Nueces County. You know, these are, a lot of the people involved in these cases are not able to articulate for themselves in court. It's not a pro se court. There's, you know, complicated laws that you have to follow, and we have to make sure that they're represented by competent attorneys and to protect their rights. Now, if somebody, you know, is not doing as a parent, not doing what they need to do, well, then there's steps that you need to take, but they need to be represented by competent attorneys and in an efficient, timely manner. We can't keep on dragging out cases.
And why? What is the negative side? Isn't it true, because I practice in that court, if you do a not so good job of appointing early and everything, you mentioned this, and you were one of the few candidates who brought this up at the League of Women Voters, you're going to pay more because it's going to turn into an appeal.
It is. It is. It's gonna. You're gonna drag out your case. It's gonna be. You know, there's always somebody's gonna come in later, appeal it, and it's gonna go up to a higher court. Now you have to pay for a record. You have to pay for an appellate attorney.
And that's expensive.
And it's very expensive. So if we just take care of business when we have to, it's a lot less money that taxpayers have to shell out.
All right, what's the magic number when people want to get on and get involved with your campaign? Signs, T-shirts. You've got a lot of people, overwhelming support, but more people want to jump on the bandwagon when they heard about the negative campaigning. What's the magic number to call?
It's my personal cell number. I always answer is 361-816-6315. And you can always, if I don't answer, I'm on the bench, leave a message, or I'm in court.
816-6315. And do you have the Politiqueras number programmed in that calls, the caller ID buzzing? You know, have they? Okay, good. No, you know.
I think that if you have the qualifications, you have the credentials, you have the background, the demeanor, and the integrity to be a judge of County Court Number 5, you don't roll around in the mud that way.
All right.
And you have to rise above that, and that's exactly what I intend to do.
Now, we're going to cut this last segment out, and we're going to patch it together. Dave does his magic. I don't know how he does it, like Cecil B. DeMille's 10 Commandments. But what we're going to do is this last 2 minutes, knocking on 100,000 doors for 2.5 people subscribing to Time Warner, and now going to be Comcast. They just bought them out. But what you're knocking on those doors, you're already block walking, but I want people to know who you are. Why should they vote for you instead of that sea of candidates that's running?
They should vote for me because I am the most experienced candidate on the ballot. I'm listed as number 2. I graduated not only from South Texas College of Law, which is a premier school that you attended as well.
Number 1 in the nation for advocacy.
And my first job was as the prosecutor of County Court of Law number 5. I learned from the best, the late Honorable Judge Carl Lewis, who taught me that there is differences. People, when they're growing up, they're going to make mistakes. And he taught me that you have to learn the difference between a knucklehead and a criminal. A knucklehead is just kids making mistakes that kids are going to make when they're growing up. It does not involve violence towards people. He goes, and a criminal, he goes, they're hurting people. They're hurting people in this community. And part of the job of the main purpose of juvenile law is to not only rehabilitate kids that need rehabilitation, but is to protect the public. And that's a very fine line, and you better have the experience able to delineate that difference. You don't want to put the public at risk.
Very well said. And you also have a Facebook / Melissa Madrigal for Judge?
Yes.
Okay, so they can join you there on Facebook
Always.
And friend you. And
816-6315.
816-6315. Judge Melissa Madrigal wants to be your judge for Juvenile Justice Center, County Court at Law number 5. Judge, thanks for coming on, and good luck on the election.
Thank you. Thank you.